Approved by the board. Okay, thank you. I humbly apologize. Thank you, Mr. Minister. Thank you. You sure it's a typo? You sure? You sure, Minister? All right. Okay, Minister. All right, sir. I give you the benefit of the doubt. I will not call you a liar like you do to me. You see that? See that?
Honorable member.
You see that?
I take it back. I apologize, Madam
Thank
Speaker.
you.
I take it back.
Madam Speaker, this is better than Hollywood. What's that, Mr. PM? Mr. PM, say
Honorable member
concur
for Rural West.
No, you have to get up and take it back.
Honorable member for Rural West.
You have to take up and
Invite you to take it back.
Yes, you have to take it back.
I invite you to take it back.
Madam Speaker, you have to take it back. You have to take it back, Madam Speaker. You have to take it back.
Honorable member. By implication. Yes.
Speaker.
No, PM. No. Anyway, out of deference to your office, I let you get away with that. But you will not get away with it. You know we'll always be friends. Nobody, when he lose the election, me, I surely see him come and cry on him. Me, nobody with him. Nobody with him, just like how he used to cry on my shoulder down to Mike's when he was leader of the opposition. No, he coming right home to baby. Right back home. Because let me tell you, David Shaw, David Shaw doing the same thing to Humphreys. Can't even come here and eat.
Honorable member, the relevance to the bill.
I'm sorry. We know it, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, if you look in section 13, we see the clear potential for political abuse in limiting the term of office for staff to a maximum of 5 years. What is the purpose of this term limitation for employees? What is the purpose, Mr. Minister, of a state institution who is serving the public good? As long as that employee, Madam Speaker, is in good standing, there can only be a corrupt political need to review or limit the term of employment. And if you look now, Madam Speaker, at the provision of section 13, subsection 3, Madam Speaker, on page 10, and I quote, the board may revoke the appointment of a person to the medical staff for good cause, including any breach of the rules of the board. End of quote. That in itself, Mr. Prime Minister, is a recipe for political manipulation and control, and it must be reviewed starting with specific examples of good cause. You must have good cause to revoke somebody's employment. You are labor relations man, a union man, and you're allowing them to put that in the bill? Madam Speaker, you cannot hide those things in regulations. Spell it out in the body of the legislation. Remarkably, Madam Speaker, section 13 speaks about consultant physicians, but it provides only for full-time consultants paid a salary by the board. What about private practice, Mr. Minister? Nowhere in the legislation is the issue of private practice dealt with. Absolutely no provision, Madam Speaker, for the accommodation of private patients at Mount St. John taken care by their private physicians. If Robin here would go up there and he decide he only want Dr. Babu, his doctor, to come and look for him, or Bella's here, or Dr. John, you going to deny him that right? And he's paying? Madam Speaker, surely we cannot be contemplating keeping out well-qualified surgeons and other medical consultants from Mount St. John as we did at Halberton, especially when the people are crying out for their services. Certainly, Madam Speaker, there must be provision for private practitioners, Mr. Minister, who are qualified and not just consultants employed on a full-time basis. Every hospital expert will tell you that for a hospital to be successful financially, there must be, Madam Speaker, adequate facilities and arrangements for private care. And Mount St. John was built and designed accordingly. Madam Speaker, the question is, how come the UPP did not find it possible to deal with this most critical matter anywhere in this hurried, agenda-oriented legislation? Because that's what it is, an agenda-oriented piece of legislation. I'm therefore afraid, Madam Speaker, that based on this conspicuous omission, we may well have on our hands a recipe, Madam Speaker, for creating a new Halberton Horror House in shiny, beautiful corridors. Madam Speaker, let us now look at Section 15. Section 15, Madam Speaker, on page 11. As further evidence, Madam Speaker, of a rushed, untidy, and sloppy job, the UPP passed up an opportunity to improve on the 1999 legislation as regards to the establishment of departments or services, Madam Speaker. Instead of the broad reference, Mr. Minister, to diagnostic medicine, there is need for a pathology department, a radiology department. Yes, sit up and learn, man. A diagnostic imaging department and clinical laboratory department. Do you understand the difference, Mr. Minister? But Mr. Minister, you have to put it in. It is not good enough to say it exists. Exists where? This is a comprehensive piece of legislation that you're passing. Put it in there. But Madam Speaker, I want to move to the big potato, the bombshell, quickly. The reason, Madam Speaker, why the UPP is running helter-skelter and trying to hustle through this piece of legislation at the 11th hour on the eve of a general election, while bundling up, they put it together with all kind of other pieces of legislation today, before this very sitting of this House, Madam Speaker, is who will pay? Who will pay what? Under what specific cost arrangement, Mr. Minister? What is the estimated cost? This House and this country needs to know what is the estimated operating cost of Mount St. John, and how will it be met by your government? What will be the government's contribution to the board, Madam Speaker? And what will be the pay scale for services rendered at the Mount St. John? Will there be different pay scales for different types of patients? Through you, Madam Speaker? For first world visitors? For regional visitors? For local patients, Madam Speaker, with private insurance? Local patients with medical benefits? And local patients with no insurance, Madam Speaker? What are the different pay scales? Have these details been worked out, Mr. Minister? If they have, the public needs to have the answers to these questions. Because, Madam Speaker, if you look at Section 17, Madam Speaker, Section 17 on page 11, financial provisions. It deals with the finances of the board. The legislation needs to be clear and pellucidly clear who is going to pay for what services and how the revenue system is intended to work. It is simply too vague, and the matter of the formula for hospital fees is too important for reference at Section 30 that the minister again will make, enabling the prescription of the sums to be charged by way of hospital fees. Come on, man. Come on. Come clean with the people of this